My gosh, that was the sketchiest landing I've ever had. Interesting story that I have flying wise is me and a buddy were flying up to go get Jeffrey's girlfriend up in the Bay Area of San Francisco to pick his girlfriend up and bring her all the way back to Scottsdale, Arizona for a surprise party in a Cessna 172. So total flight time was like 11 and a half hours of flight time. So it was crazy busy, but or crazy long, I should say. And as we were coming back from Reed Hillview in California to Scottsdale, we were going to make a fuel stop over in a place called Kern Valley. And it's one of the most notorious airports for being just a super challenging approach because it's right at the base of the Sierra Nevadas. And the airport itself is at about 2,500 feet elevation, but all around it are peaks of over 8,000 feet high. So what happened is we were flying in there to get some cheap fuel on our way back to Scottsdale. And it ended up being that there was a high surface winds airmet that came in right as we were coming into Kern Valley. And so we came over the top of the Sierras and we just got rocked with severe turbulence all the way down to the airport. And it was just absolutely not fun. And with Jeffrey's girlfriend in the back, she was definitely a little bit freaked out, but we had two good pilots up front, me and Jay, if you follow him, that pilot Jay on Instagram. But yeah, we went all the way to Kern Valley and ended up having to go around 3 times because it was gusting about 30 knots on the ground at like a 60-degree angle. So the crosswind component was just ridiculous. And thankfully it started to die down a little bit because we never got below maybe 100 knots all the way throughout that approach. And it's a challenging approach too because the actual airport itself is wedged between 2 mountains. It's right in a valley, so you have to hug the mountain to make your downwind at a normal distance away from the runway, because otherwise you're just going to be way too close and then it's not going to work for you. So we ended up having to go around 3 times just because we couldn't get below our airspeed to deploy the flaps and to get down to the runway. And frankly, we never used flaps anyway to start with because it was so windy. But thankfully we made it down, and my gosh, that was the sketchiest landing I've ever had. And I was like, if this landing does not work, we're going to go somewhere else. But we made it work. We got some cheap fuel and we got out of there. And I mean, we probably scared the heck out of somebody in the process, but we made it work. And that's to this day, it's going to haunt me in my in my nightmares, that landing will be. But we'd love to go back to Kern Valley when it's not windy, because it is a beautiful airport.